if you are tired of refugees coming here on small boats and if you care about their well being, you need to change the way that you think about refugees. 3 people have died attempting to cross the channel to seek refuge in the UK, and some 46 people had to be rescued from the same convoy. Sky News reports 3 people have died after an inflatable boat carrying migrants sank in the channel, French maritime authorities said. The incident happened this morning off the coast of Sangate, close to Calais. Around 50 migrants are understood to have fallen into the water shortly after 8 a.m., around 2 kilometres from the shoreline near Calais. At least 45 people were rescued, but French authorities are continuing to search for others still in the water. The UK Border Force also confirmed it is actively engaged in a search and rescue operation. 2 of the victims were provided with first aid after being rescued from the water, but were pronounced dead by medics when taken to Calais. On the 19th of October, a baby girl died crossing the channel, even though I'm frequently told by right-wingers that we should shut off the safe routes and shut off all routes because they're all, quote-unquote, fighting-age men. Dr. Wanda Wyporska, chief executive of Safe Passage International, spoke to The Guardian in support of opening safe routes. Just days on since a baby died in a tragedy in the Channel, 2 more people have lost their lives in this dangerous journey. It's now 3 people. At least 55 people have died so far in the deadliest year for people crossing the Channel. We cannot normalise or accept this. This government must open safe routes urgently. Without them, the smugglers will continue to exploit the lack of safe alternatives for people fleeing war and persecution. We fear that we will only see more people dying in their attempts to reach protection here. So, Curtis, do you think Starmer will ever stop trying to appeal to the rabid right-wing press and allow his government to actually open some safe routes for refugees?
No. It's been the modus operandi for Keir Starmer for a few years now, and it's going to be the modus operandi going forwards. Now, the reason why they want to go more hardline is because they think if they concede on a more humane position, they think that that's electorally, at a disadvantage for the right. Of course, they left the Jeremy Corbyn years back behind when Jeremy Corbyn spoke about refugees often. In fact, Jeremy Corbyn's first rally he went to when he won the leadership in 2015 was a refugees welcome rally. They wouldn't ever do this, and one, because obviously, yeah, they don't care enough to do it, but two, they think it's a great electoral strategy to lean into the right. But that never, ever, ever works. When you justify the rhetoric from the right and the far right, all you do is bolster them. I mean, since Starmer's been prime minister, he's clamped down on so many civil liberties. He has engaged in very extreme rhetoric. Even before he became prime minister, he was saying that I don't support more legal routes. We want to clamp down on criminal gangs, and it's obviously, as you said before, that's the Tory policy. Has that stopped the far right? No, it's emboldened them. Now, in order for this situation to be resolved, you have to have compassion. You're not going to stop refugees from coming, so you could just accept them. And of course, yes, you want to smash the criminal gangs. That's a big part of it. But you need to open up more safe and legal routes, something which Keir Starmer has rejected time and time again. And it doesn't fix the problem. My worry is as the years go on, as the Labour government doesn't address the material conditions for people, the race riots we saw last month will look like nothing compared to what will come afterwards. And I don't understand why they don't see this, or maybe they do. But I really, they have to change their strategy, which they won't. I also think just, ideologically, there are probably people in the Labour Party who favour more of a stricter approach on refugees than they would be for supporting refugees. This isn't unique to Keir Starmer and his iteration of the Labour Party. Even in the Blair years, they had some very extreme policy on immigration and refugees. Some awful racist things they've said. It's actually quite a big tradition within the Labour Party to be quite reactionary. But do I think he's going to change tack on this? No, he's not.
I do think what you've said is so true, and I know people are probably sick of hearing me say this now, but you're not going to out UKIP, right?
Yeah.
If you lean into anti-migrant rhetoric, then the people who are willing to be more anti-migrant than you are going to gain power. Like, It's an inevitability of leaning into this rabid right-wing rhetoric, this rabid anti-migrant rhetoric, anti-refugee rhetoric, because the problem only gets worse, right? If there's no safe and legal routes, the problem associated with border crossings will only continue to get worse. If you want to lean into it, but you want to go, oh, but we're going to open safe and legal routes, you'd probably, you'd probably go, oh, we've got to smash the gangs, be really strict on people making illegal crossings, but we're going to open safe and legal routes.
And that's
That is a
and by
way
the
that
way,
you could do
that's
it.
a completely coherent position. That's okay if
Mm.
Keir Starmer said we are going to smash the criminal gangs who are exploiting these poor people. These poor people trying to cross the river, people dying, but we're also going to give safe and legal routes for people, right? That's a coherent position, but he wouldn't take that before the election because he's a coward. Because he was afraid that right-wing parties and the Conservatives would say, "Oh, you want safe and legal routes? You want more of them coming over here?" So he said, "Oh, actually, no, I'm going to stop the boats too." And he attacked the Conservatives not based on their ideology of how cruel and inhumane we have been to refugees, but he attacked them on competency. He's a coward, and many people in the Labour right are utter cowards. Now, I also want to pivot to the right. I mean, I guess Keir Starmer and the right are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
But to talk about the right, those that complain about immigration, those that complain about refugees, well, when those of us on the left say, okay, well, here's what's causing it, they don't want to listen. Let's talk about immigration for a second. Well, our economic system right now is of free trade, neoliberal global capitalism, right? If you will, if you want to put it in so many words. And that relies on high amounts of immigration. It just does. So if you want to address immigration, if any Tory wants to talk about immigration, you need to talk about the economic system. All right. Let's talk about investment. You need investment. We need to train our own doctors to do the jobs in the NHS, but we're pulling people from other countries. When we say, okay, then let's raise taxes and spend more money. Oh, suddenly the right don't like that. I don't want my taxes going up, or we can't afford it. We'll deal with high amounts of immigration then. When it comes to climate change, by the way, climate change will be the biggest driver of refugees in the future. We're going to have millions of climate refugees, right? It's already started in the global south and it's coming over here. We've seen extreme weather conditions. We've seen floods in this country, especially in the north. And of course, we've seen it with Hurricane Milton. This is only going to happen more frequently, and you're going to get more climate refugees. And the political right, what do they say about climate change? Half of them don't even think it's man-made, think it's real. So there's a subsection of people who don't want this issue to be solved. They just want to be racist. They just want to be hateful. And there's another subsection of people who don't want to solve it because they get political capital from this. You'll note that there was an immigration bill. If you don't know, there's an immigration bill in the US, which was quite a hardline policy on immigration. And it was a bill from the Democrats. The Democrats did it. And the Republicans voted against this bill at the instruction of Donald Trump. Now, why would they do that? I thought Trump cared about immigration and wants to bring it down. I thought the GOP said that the Democrats want open borders. We need to get control of our borders. Then why would they vote against this bill? The reason why, and Trump said it himself to the GOP, I don't want this off the table before the election. They don't care about these issues. They want it as political capital. So that's all it really is. In a strange way, the only people that really care about this issue is the left, because we actually have solutions. And that doesn't include demonizing people. That doesn't include letting innocent children drown in the channel. But here we are.
Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you. Turn left.